Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another live at 5:55. I am definitely a bit clustery today. I've had a challenging week. I mean, I know it's Monday, but um, anxiety attacks, headaches, aches and pains, nausea, um, breakouts. I mean, crazy vivid dreams where I can't get to sleep. You name it, I've been there. I wonder if you guys have been there too, because it's been really intense. So if you feel my clustery energy, I'm not in a bad place. I'm just going through it. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, and definitely anxiety is at like a peak. And I thought that yesterday was like a lot better, and I'm like the 8/8's done, and then today hits, and it just waves of anxiety. But also, I had so many downloads before this video and so many full body chills before this video. So this is definitely an urgent message for all of you, as well as an urgent message for me too. Like, I'm always learning. So yeah. Where do I even begin? Okay. So as I was writing all the information for this video down, and that was like an hour ago, I started getting massive pains behind my eyes. And at first it was massive pain behind my left eye, and then it was a massive pain behind my right eye. And finally I just asked the guides that I was channeling from, and I said, "What's going on with the freaking eye pain?" And they said that it was because I was supposed to close my eyes and open my third eye and listen with my third eye. And then they proceeded to tell me that they've been trying to give me this urgent message all week. But I haven't been listening. And you guys saw that in my last Monday's video, I had paint all over my hands, and I've been now painting with black paint, so I have more paint on me. But and so they said that I was filling my time with home renovations instead of meditating and listening to the messages that they had. And they told me that that's why I was feeling very dizzy and very lightheaded when I was painting the bathroom, is because that they were trying to give me an urgent message and I wasn't listening. So anyway, so this is the urgent message. I'm listening now. It's really funny. Back in university, the way that they would always get my attention was to make me very lightheaded and very dizzy. And whenever that happened, I would go into another room and I would close my eyes and meditate. And typically there was always a being or a Palladian or some sort of message there for me at that time. So anyway, I'm listening now, which is really good. Yeah. Okay, and then, yes. So the only other thing that I want to mention is, yeah, there's really big downloads tomorrow. Like, I was feeling it today. The Galactic Federation came through today, and they don't typically come through with every video unless I specifically label it Galactic Federation. But I think that because you guys are ready for it, or you're wanting that information, they're coming through a lot more. So I get a message. I ask the spirit guides, what does humanity need to know today? And today, specifically, it is all based around activating your light warrior light codes. There's a lot of light language, but once again, activating your light warrior light codes. And they said that this is really important. So once again, after I asked what everyone needed, they said to activate your warrior light codes. That's what they called it. And what they told me is that the veil between the underworld and the above world is thinning. Once again, they said that the veil between the underworld and the above world is thinning. And what they meant by that, they showed me an image with everything that they gave me today. They showed me images. So just know that the words are only a surface level exchange of information for all of you at a 3D, third dimension limited level. But deeper than that, all of the words today, all of the sentences, everything that I received is activating and changing and increasing your vibrational frequency. It's meant to be an activation. So they said, yeah, the veil between the underworld and the above world is thinning. And they showed me the underworld. They mentioned not like hell, not like a dark world. They specifically were mentioning the shadow governments, the matrix system. They were mentioning the underground tunnels and the underground military bases, everything that's happening with the children right now. They were mentioning the underground world is basically the fourth dimension reality. That's what it is. The underworld is the fourth dimension reality. And you know how before I've mentioned that the fourth dimension is kind of like the conspiracy theory realm. It's like, and I was just mentioning this in an interview I had just the other day, and I mentioned 3D, 4D, 5D in reference to a table, right? So if you can imagine right now the table in front of you, or your side table in your bedroom, or your living room table, coffee table in front of you, or whatever. Imagine a table. At a third dimension level, that table exists as its atomic structure. So when you look at the table, you understand that the table is existing as its physical state. In the fourth dimension realm, frequency perception, you're looking at the table and now you're questioning the existence of that table. Is that table existing? Why is it existing? And in what state is it existing in? When you move into the fifth dimension perception of a table, you start to realize that the table itself is an illusion, and that you were the only one to manifest and create and anchor in the table into your third dimension reality, right? So what's happening right now, and what the Galactic Federation were mentioning, even though this wasn't supposed to be about the GFL, they just want to come in, they were mentioning that right now the underworld is being taken down, and the veil between the third dimension density and the fourth dimension density is thinning. We have to be able to see this matrix reality for exactly what it is. We cannot break free of our own ego and our own attachment and our own illusions and our own ignorance if we do not see this fourth dimension density realm, if we do not see how corrupt and how disgusting it's been since the dawning of humanity. Right? So when they are mentioning the underground world, they're literally mentioning the fourth dimension frequency. The problem is that most people on this planet have been accepting this reality at face value as the table itself. Well, the table exists, it's there in front of me. Why would I ever have to question the table? Now we're all entering into this phase of questioning everything, which is breaking down your own disillusions, which is kind of freaking freaky because your entire reality is crumbling. And it's up to you how quickly you want to transcend that fourth dimension perception into a higher frequency. That's up to you. God, anyway, I literally, I almost threw up 3 times writing the information of this video because I felt how intense it was. Sometimes when I get really connected to source, I literally have this this instant gag reflex. Anyway, it's fine. That's not gonna happen during this video. Okay. Anyway, okay. Second sentence that they wanted to start off with. This is what they said. The Great Convergence is upon us. This is why you're having anxiety. So I don't know if they were just speaking to me or if all of you are also going through bouts of anxiety. But they did reference, this is why you're having anxiety, is because the Great Convergence is upon us. It means that right now we are transcending, we're moving, we're clearing, we're healing an entire frequency on this planet that has had a hold over this planet since the dawning of humanity. And it's had a hold over our own lives since the dawning of humanity. Not only are we clearing our childhood shit, not only are we clearing our ancestral shit, not only are we clearing our past life shit, but we are collectively and individually clearing the entire planet's old paradigm. And that is going to have you and leave you feeling bouts of anxiety because you're feeling it all. You're tapped into it all. Okay, and then this is also why you're being called into the astral realms as well. This is why you're being very exhausted, and this is what the Galactic Federation said in the last message. If you are exhausted and you're going through this, you're being called as a light warrior into the other realms. And today they have 3 things that they all want you guys to do, and of course you always have the free will to or not to do it. But you're being called into action, and that's why all of you are restless. That's why all of you want to move forward. That's why all of you are go time right now, but you're also feeling very stuck and very frustrated. You want to go, you want to help, you want to heal, you want to collectively transcend, but yet you're still stuck with the limitations of the 3rd dimension. That's okay that you're in between states right now. And you know what? The rest of 2020 is going to be like that. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So please take the time to just be with yourself and be okay with relaxing and be okay with doing nothing. You're doing enough in the astral. That's what they keep telling me, is you're doing enough in the astral. So don't have any crazy expectations for yourself in the physical. They were talking about Lionsgate, how, this is so good. Okay. Enough of us on this planet have awakened to the truth of the 4th dimension frequency layer, which is once again the layer that has been in control of this 3rd dimension matrix. Doesn't it make sense that a higher vibrational plane, even just slightly higher, is in control of a lower vibrational plane? You know what I mean? So enough of us during the Lionsgate portal and vortex have awakened to the truth, especially with the children. And during that video, I mean, now we know that the matrix is basically being controlled by these children and this, slavery that's going on. It's so interesting. As I was getting this information, and there's some triggering information in here that I'm just going to warn you about right now. As I was writing this information, they told me to be very aware of the words that I used. And they even told me the words not to use, because right now YouTube, Google, which owns YouTube, is actually really targeting activists who are speaking out against this, who do have high engagement ratings and what have you. So anyway, so I'm being careful. Okay, yes. So once again, the Great Convergence is upon us. The underworld, 4th dimension frequency, and the above world, the 3rd dimension frequency, the walls are thinning. Okay, so before I move forward, I have a message, a very, very important, very strong message to all of you about the Galactic Federation and myself. I didn't expect to put this message in there. It was all of this information that was channeled. So take it or leave it, guys, but it's really important. And they basically said, before we move forward together, which means the Galactic Federation and myself, in bringing you information, you need to know this before we move on. Okay. This is verbatim. The Galactic Federation does not hold all of the information. Elizabeth April does not hold all of the information. Once again, the Galactic Federation does not hold all of the information, and neither do I. And they basically said, before we move forward, they told me that there are some of you who are disempowering yourselves, even though this is the right information, you're disempowering yourselves thinking that this is everything, and it's not. And here's what I asked the Galactic Federation, right? And I asked them, I said, if I don't hold all of the information, which I completely agree with, then what do I hold, right? Each one of us is a piece of the puzzle. So I'm basically now asking the Galactic Federation, what's my piece? What's my purpose? Which is funny because I always laugh about everyone, all of you guys asking, what's my purpose? What am I here for? But anyway, I said, what do I hold then? And their response was so mind blowing. This is what they said. They said, you hold the keys to unlock the door. You hold the keys to unlock the door. So they continued by saying, the information unlocks the door, and all of you have to choose to open it. So that's it, guys. I don't hold the information. The Galactic Federation doesn't hold the information. We're just giving you the key. We're just saying, hey, this is maybe something that you want to check out, right? But they said in all caps, and they made this very clear, you should never stop at us, but only ever begin here, if that makes sense. You should never stop at us, but only begin. This is a kickoff, right? All these videos are just a door opener. We're just unlocking the door. You can choose to open it. You can choose not to, right? But they wanted to make it really clear that this is not all of the information. If anything, it's a very watered down version of a little bit of everything for you to think about. Hopefully that makes sense, but they basically said, look, before you continue, not just continue in this video, but continue my career in where I'm going, all of you need to know, not only can all of you contact the Galactic Federation yourself, but don't disempower yourself thinking that they know all the answers. There are so many light codes and light workers on this planet who hold other key pieces of your divine information. It should never stop here. It should never stop with Elizabeth April or the Galactic Federation. They should only ever be your opening. Okay, good. That was really intense. I did not expect that from them, but okay, so we're going to move on with another piece of information. Then we're going to talk a little bit about light warriors, and then we're basically going to wrap it up. And I want to say that the last thing that I'm going to mention in this video, you know what? I'm not even going to say it until we get there. It's too crazy. Okay. All right. So now that I have the Galactic Federation attention, right, and here I am meditating and channeling and just receiving messages from them, I said, why is BLM triggering me so much? That's what I asked them. There's a friend of mine, and I love her dearly, and all she's posting about on social media, and she's definitely an activist, but all she's posting about is BLM. And I started getting kind of triggered by it. And, I don't understand this because I do agree with the movement and the equality for all, So anyway, so I asked them that, and they said that the reason why I'm triggered by the BLM movement, and specifically people who maybe attach themselves to that movement, is because it's a polarizing distraction from Plan A. It's a polarizing distraction from Plan A. The reason why I'm so triggered by BLM doesn't mean that it's an illusion or that's a lie. I do agree with, we had to have that, but it just reminds me every single time that what the real plan was. You know what I mean? That's why it triggers me. So I don't know if that triggers you as well, but that's probably why, is because it was always supposed to be Plan B, and it turned into Plan A. And if you don't know what Plan A is, please watch my previous videos. So they wanted us all to know that Plan A is back on track. Like I said, there was enough individuals who were awakened to the truth during Lionsgate Portal, which we're currently in still right now, which is probably why I still have these anxiety attacks. So we're currently back on track with Plan A, which means that we're going in a really good trajectory of breaking down the matrix. They also want all of you to know, they said, pay attention to the information surfacing. Pay attention to the information surfacing. So I don't know about you guys. I don't watch the news, but every once in a while, someone will send me something, or I'll just divinely, synchronistically, something will come up. And sometimes it's actually the news, like Fox or CNN or, the mainstream news. And I'm so good at reading between the lines. I'm really good at reading the headline and saying, oh, I see what's going on. Just like I know exactly what happened to Princess Diana. Just like I know exactly what's going on with the royal family without ever even having to follow what they're projecting on it. So they said, pay attention to the information surfacing. That could be mainstream news, that could be back-end news, that could be your own intuition, but lots of truth information is going to be surfacing. Just like I've been posting about the earthquakes and me being a little bit skeptical about the earthquakes. Okay. What else did they say? They said humanity marching and waking up to Plan A is breaking down the matrix, which I already relayed to you. And then they also said too, they said, we've already won on the inside, And now we just have to reflect that change on the outside. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Internally, they've won. Internally, we've already hopped into that timeline. Now we just have to reflect, perpetuate, and ripple out the effects of the change that have already happened internally on the outside. So physically, the physical changes, which sometimes are the most difficult, right? Okay, good. Oh yeah, I also want to mention too that the whole time, so I was laying in bed, I was closing my eyes, I was channeling this information, getting so many downloads, laughing with the Galactic Federation because I think they're really funny. And yeah, and my dog, little Tater Tot, was whining. She was whining the whole time, and she was having literally an anxiety attack while I'm channeling. And I'm like, and so what I said to her was, I'm like, Mommy's okay. And it wasn't me, but my wife. She like gets really anxious sometimes, only sometimes, when Nat's not in the same room. So I said, Mommy's okay. Like, everyone's safe. What did I say? Yeah, everyone's safe, everyone's safe. And I just had so much compassion, and I said, you can relax, everyone's safe. And as I kept repeating, you can relax, everyone's safe, her little eyes started to close and she started to like get really sleepy. And I just want to say that I'm like, oh, that's so weird how she had an anxiety attack while I was channeling this. And right away, of course, the guides are right there. And they said, the rest of humanity is feeling this way. The rest of humanity is having a freaking panic attack right now, an anxiety attack, feeling unsafe. This energy, this vibration of safety and feeling unsafe is penetrating and hitting everyone so hard right now. I also want to mention too, has anyone else had really random flashbacks of this lifetime in the past couple of weeks? Like really intense, like, whoa, you're there again, or like, whoa, you're in university again, or whoa, you're with your ex again. I've had these intense flashbacks of old stuff that seemingly didn't really matter at the time, but once again, timelines are converging right now, and we have to go back before we move forward, and that's what's creating a lot of the feelings of unsafety. You're good. It's like you're reminding yourself, but everything's good, everything's fine, we're going in the right direction, or I'm exactly where I need to be, and yet you still have that panic or anxiety attack, and it's that feeling of not being safe. So all you have to do, whether it's your children who are having issues at nighttime or sleeping or anxiety attacks, or your pets who are having issues, or you who are having anxiety issues, compassion and safety, compassion and safety, compassion and safety is the only thing that you really need right now. Okay, so as I was coaching and teaching and helping my dog telepathically, I was also helping and teaching myself because I was also going through a panic attack. So of course it was all divine. Okay, so let's talk about light warriors. The point of this video is to kind of give you a little bit of an update. The Galactic Federation as a whole, not just the Palladian Security Council, are going to give us a really in-depth update tomorrow in the channel. So I hope most of you are excited about that. And what else did I want to mention about that? Yeah, I'm going to be talking to a reptilian who is a reptilian rebel, and she's going to tell us all about the wars that are going on underground. It's going to be very interesting. So they're going to give you the rest of the updates tomorrow. And just a reminder, I will have a Galactic Federation channeling event every 11th of every month. So I just tune into them to see what's going on. Okay, so the whole point of this video is about light warriors, activating your light warrior energy, and part of that is just having the information. Part of that is just knowing in general that you're a light warrior. So the Galactic Federation basically said, you are all light warriors. You volunteered to be here. Upon volunteering to be here, you became a light warrior. Even if you've never fought a battle in your life, by being here on this planet, you are fighting. Okay, so you are a light warrior. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is also why you have an urgency for action. You're a light warrior, and right now at this time you are being called into action. That's why you have an urgency for action at this time. We have been telling you how powerful you are, but now is the time to experience it. They're calling you into the experience of your power. So they have 3 things that they want to remind you of, and then also plant a seed for you. Once again, we're just going to give you the key. You can unlock the door, you can open it, you can leave it closed. But these are 3 things that are going to help you as a light warrior activate that warrior energy within you, so that not only are you doing the work physically for your human, but you're doing the work astrally. Okay? And we've said this before, but I'll just remind you all that you don't have to go picket and riot and protest on the street to make a change. I think that it's important for us to show our numbers. That's just my opinion. But I do believe that if you're like, oh, there's no protest going on in my area, do the work intentionally. And we'll talk about that. So the 3 steps to activate your light warrior energy and DNA. Step number 1 is breath work. I was actually surprised by this, that they brought this up, but they were pretty clear on this. They said that the breath is associated with vibration. So, and they showed me an image of doing certain kinds of breath work, literally ripple out your vibrational frequency into the universe and into this planet. They also said that that's why a lot of you have had breathing issues. You've had heaviness in your chest. You've had heart pains. You've had heart palpitations. And you've had anxiety attacks where you're over aware of your breath. They said all of these things that are making you aware of your body and your breath and your heart and your chest are all in reference to making you aware of how powerful your breath is. They said that if you can have control over your breath, you can have control over your vibration. Once again, if you have control over your breath, you have control over your vibration. So the number 1 thing in being a light warrior is breath work. Okay, and that could be transcendental breath work. It could be fire breathing. It could be Vipassana breathing. It could be whatever. It could be yoga breathing. You know, there's tons of different breathing techniques. See what resonates most with you. And ask yourself how your breath right now in the moment is changing your vibration. I know that when I'm going through anxiety, especially the past 2 weeks, my breath has been extremely shallow. And that almost perpetuates the anxiety is what I find. Okay, number 2, they want to introduce you all to light weapons. I don't know if you're aware of the fact that you have light weapons, but you do. As a light warrior volunteering to come to this planet, you have something called light weapons. Now, I was first introduced to my light weapons probably around 2013, maybe 2012. And basically all they are etheric, energetic, astral weapons that you work with in the astral realms to defend, to protect, typically defense and protection rather than battle. Like, never do you really like initiate violence, but it's usually defending and protecting. Anyway, so each one of you has your own very unique light weapons. And I'll explain mine to you. I have one huge sword. It's like bigger than I am. And it's literally, when I look at it with my third eye, it's pure white light, right? I have 2 daggers as well that are pure white light. And I also have, I have a shield as well. That's basically like a giant bubble that I put myself in. And then I also have like a light weapon ability, and all of you have this light weapon ability as well. And my special ability is I turn myself into a giant white light tornado, and I can actually clear tens of thousands of dark entities when I turn myself into a white light tornado, because I literally suck in all of the entities. So I promise you that if you just set an intention in your meditation or in your space or 5 minutes after this video, and you tell your guides, I'm ready to be introduced to my light weapons, or you tell your highest self, those light weapons will be introduced to you. I've seen many light warriors with many different types of weapons. I've seen like a ball and chain, but in pure white light. I've seen people with special abilities, like the ability to put a blanket over the planet and heal the planet that way. It's infinite, right? It's infinite. So a lot of them actually do look like legit, like medieval weapons, but they're made of pure white light. And what the Galactic Federation said about this one is, specifically, the dark will never hold power over you again. The dark will never hold power over you again with these light weapons. Once you know that you are powerful enough and you have the tools to defend yourself in the astral realms, the dark will never have power over you again. Okay, so I really want all of you to work on, like, that's the main action step. The other thing too that they mentioned with the light weapons is visualization. They really want all of you to work on visualization. If you're feeling if you're feeling down, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling dark, whatever those feelings may be, imagine pure white light in your location. Imagine pure white light in your home. Imagine pure white light surrounding you. You know, working with visualization is the huge step forward into connecting with the astral realms and all of the beings who live and work in the astral realms. Okay? The third and the last thing about being a light warrior that they want you to work on to activate those DNA codes in you is, vibrational intentions is what they called it. Vibrational intentions. And so they said that just by thinking about your ideal state of reality, just by thinking about what you want this planet globally to be, you're creating it. So vibrational intentions, above and beyond the fighting in the astral realm, above and beyond the breath work, you know. And it's funny because the breath work is 3D, working with your 3D body with breath work. The light weapons are 4D, right? You're working in the astral realms with battling and light weapons and defending and protecting. And then, of course, the intentions, the vibrational intentions are working in 5D. So, of course, they're giving you all 3 layers of how to activate your light warrior side. So, once again, your thoughts are a ripple effect into this reality. The more high vibrational thoughts you have, the more intentional and conscious thoughts you have, rather than, I'm just going to eat this because it's in front of me. I'm just going to wear this because it's in front of me. I'm just going to do this because that's what I do. It's not a very intentional life, you know? So the more that you bring the intention and the consciousness into it, the more it's going to serve you. So be aware of that. One more thing that I want to mention with that, and then I have something really funny that I want to end off with, is shadow dragons. Have any of you ever been drawn to dragons, dragon energy, dragons anything? Maybe some of you are freaked out that you're drawn to dragons. Don't be. Dragons are a mythical creature. I don't really know nothing about dragons, but years and years ago when I was introduced to my light weapons, I was introduced to something called shadow dragons. And what a shadow dragon is like, everyone imagines them differently, I guess. I was introduced to mine. I had a name for it. I think it's a female when I was introduced, but this is years and years ago. And it literally looks like, to me anyway, mine looks like a giant Chinese dragon, like a very long one with one of those big heads. And I ride the shadow dragon. It looks like a dark gray dragon. And I hop on it in the astral realm and I ride it. And the dragon eats dark entities and dark energies. So I used to get attacked all the time. I mean, this was also around like 2013, 2014 when I was dating the freaking reptilian. So I was like surrounded by entities all the time. This is when I was introduced to my light weapons and my shadow dragon. And the dragon would go around and eat these entities. So I just want to also introduce you to the concept of, you may be either a shadow dragon yourself who eats entities. That's what they do. Or you're called something like a shadow dragon rider, and you ride the dragon that eats the shadows. I don't know. It sounds crazy. I know, guys, but this is just my life, and take it or leave it. Check it out, though. You're like, literally, the beings out there just want to give you all the tools so that we can get you activated. Okay, last thing, I was like chatting with the GFL and I was giving the Galactic Federation so much love and gratitude. I was just saying, thank you so much for stepping up. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for, being active. And I was just feeling that love for the Galactic Federation. And then all of a sudden, I was like seeing their light and feeling that love. And all of a sudden I was like joking with them and I said, you're not evil, right? Because there's been a couple of people who are like, the Galactic Federation is evil and they're just all a part of the prison system and they're trying to enslave us, right? So I've never actually confronted them and said, yo, is this right? Because it doesn't resonate with me. So I'm so in my conviction of what I know to be true that why ask, you know? But I did. So I said, so you're not evil, right? And the Galactic, this is their response, right? They kind of chuckled and they said, if we were evil, then why would you be feeling so much love? And I'm like, yeah, I can't deny the love, the pure, unconditional love that I feel. And I hope that each and every one of you feel that pure, unconditional love from their information coming through my, voice. And you feel that connection, that divine, deep resonance to the information. And if you didn't feel that love, that unconditional love, and you're still in questioning, then maybe these videos aren't for you, right? But I mean, that's it. Love is so pure that there's no doubt what that is, what that unconditional feeling is, right? I know what unconditional love feels like, and I feel that every time I connect with the Galactic Federation, and apparently they're stepping into many of my videos now moving forward, which is good. I'm glad that they are, because they get right to the point. So thank you all so much, as always, for being here. I'm still struggling with breakouts and anxiety and all of that and the human stuff. So I'm just a human too. The information doesn't stop here. It only begins. I have to just reiterate that. Please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. And check me out on Instagram if you haven't already. And I will see you all on Thursday for a brand new membership video talking all about the difference between your intuition versus your own thoughts. See you then.